It's time to talk line combinations. With the next gen event being dropped, the final event for Season 1, it's unlocked some crazy line combinations, essentially hitting the peak of where we're going to see line combinations during a season, where we've got cards that can get to 99 overall, essentially. So in this video, I want to highlight some of the more popular ones, as well as the ones that you can build. I'm going to touch on some pretty crazy ones, obviously, but for the most part, if it is not a buildable card, it is going to be extremely expensive. Me talking about it is not going to raise the price anymore. They are already astronomical. So when it comes to a specific card being required to buy off the auction house, just note that unless you already have it, it's going to cost you a ton. And please, listen closely. Line combinations will change on Friday, November 21st. I just want to make that very clear. If you chase after the line combinations in today's video, while it's going to be a lot of fun, in 2 weeks, there's a chance that all of them are gone. And if I were to guess, I think that's what's going to happen. That being said, let's talk line combinations. All right, when it comes to forwards, there are a lot that are going to be built around Jimmy Snuggerud and Ivan Demidov. There are a number. I'm going to show you 5, but remember that Snuggerud and Demidov are both buildable from this event. So if you wanted to take part in any of these, you can easily do so by just going to create the player in the event sets. So our first one is going to be Jimmy Snuggerud, Doug Gilmour, and Ivan Demidov. They get a +9 overall boost, which is absolutely massive, obviously. At +9 overall, Jimmy Snuggerud gets up to 96 speed, 97 acceleration, and 98 agility. His shot power maxes out, his accuracy gets into the mid-90s, and same goes for his hand stats and body checking. Now, I want to make it clear that a lot of the next-gen cards, including Jimmy Snuggerud, once they lose their line combinations, they are not all that great from a card for the salary cap standpoint. Like, for example, Jimmy Snuggerud only has 87 speed and 88 excel, and that's on the low end of good. I wouldn't want to go any lower than that, and even his hand stats are pretty mediocre at essentially 86 across the board. So again, I want to make that very clear that without the line combinations, these cards are going to lose a ton of value, but there's also a ton of fun that you can have with these cards. And I do want to point out that in the future, an American or a St. Louis Blue is going to be quite popular, probably. Like, there will be future line combinations. Now, Ivan Demidov at +9 overall, that's 98 speed, 98 excel, maxed out agility, maxed out shot power, hand stats are 99. I don't love his abilities in Ankle Breaker and Tape to Tape. I really wish he would have gotten Quick Release or something along those lines. But with those line combos, very impactful here with Ivan Demidov. Also, from just a creating a next-gen card standpoint, Demidov is almost certainly going to get nominated for the Calder Trophy. Whether he wins or not, that's a whole other debate. But he is going to get his at least 96 overall when the Calder Trophy nominees are announced way later in the year. And then lastly, we've got Doug Gilmour, who again, at +9 overall, will make this card far more useful, getting him into the mid-90s for his skating, hand stats as well. His shooting will be in the mid-90s, and he'll have 98 face-offs. Elite Born Leader is interesting. Again, if he's going to be on your first line, you could really take advantage of it, but it just makes it a really fun piece. And again, you can create Doug Gilmour by creating his hero card, and I just think that that's a pretty fun option. All right, next up, again, this is going to be all featured around Snuggerud and Demidov. If you add the heroes Jeremy Roenick, that'll get the +3 overall for a Russian, a hero, and a St. Louis Blue, as well as a Canadian, a next gen, and a USA-born player, giving you a +6 overall. Now, why this is one of my personal favorites is simply because he gets Elite Unstoppable. If you've used Barkov or Lindros, you know how hilariously broken this ability is. And if you already have Barkov and Lindros, that could mean you essentially have 3 lines with someone with Elite Unstoppable. Now, he only gets a +6 overall, not a +9 like the Gilmour ad, but at +6 overall, he's got 93 speed and excel, as well as 92 face-offs. His shot accuracy gets to 90, and his shot power gets into the mid-90s. Same thing with his hand stats and his body checking. This is just more about the Elite Unstoppable ability, but if you still have Jeremy Roenick, that would be another option for you paired with Snuggerud and Demidov. Speaking of Eric Lindros, you can actually get a +4 overall boost if you were to pair Lindros with Demidov and Snuggerud, getting the +2 overall from a Blue, Next Gen, and Canadian. as well as another +2 from a next-gen Canadian and Montreal Canadian. So while you're only getting +4 for Demidov and Snuggerud, you're adding another couple attribute points to Lindros. I just wanted to point that out because I know a lot of people have Lindros. All right, then we have probably the craziest one that you can build with Snuggerud and Demidov, and potentially just from any forward that's pretty random. It's Snuggerud, Demidov, and base Nick Suzuki. So by adding those three together, you're going to get the +2 overall for a Canadian, a Montreal Canadian, and a next-gen item, a blue, a next-gen, and a Canadian, and then a +3 on top of that for a Montreal Canadian, a next-gen, and an American. +7 overall. However, the massive benefit to this line is 2 next-gen items and a base card. Any base card will give you 20 million to the salary cap. No matter who you want to use, this should be a line combination that you are using, and it can work with anyone. You can use base Connor McDavid, which would give him a +4 overall boost and 20 million. Tons of different combinations here, but the reason why Nick Suzuki is so impactful is because he gets a +7 overall boost, meaning that he gets to 96 faceoffs, 96 speed, 98 acceleration. His shot is in the mid-90s. Hand stats are great as well. This card is stupid expensive. Think like the base Eichel from a few events ago. He will crater in price, but if we're just talking crazy line combinations, Nick Suzuki with Demidov and Snuggerud is pretty insane. However, let's say you don't need any salary, okay? So you don't want to go with Nick Suzuki. You could go with Jean Beliveau, the 85 overall alumni, and that's going to give you a +7 overall and 10 ability points to your ability pool, which again is a massive bonus there. So just 2 elite options with Nick Suzuki and Jean Beliveau. Now let's get into some really super specific lines that, again, are going to be pretty expensive to acquire. But we've got Mike Gartner with Milestone, Mark Scheifele, with Marquee Moments, Brendan Hagel, and Mike Gartner. That'll give you a +6 overall boost, as well as +3 AP for getting those three together. Obviously, getting Mike Gartner +6 overall is going to get his speed up to 98, his acceleration to 99, and his agility up to 90 with elite wheels. His shot also becomes almost maxed out, so a +6 involving Mike Gartner is pretty big. And the last one I want to throw out involving Mike Gartner, if you pair him with Dylan Strome and Beast Mode Nikita Kucherov, you will get a +2 overall boost and 18 ability points. One of the craziest combos that you can put together. And I know a lot of people probably have Gartner and Kucherov. If you wanted to go with Pierre-Luc Dubois instead, who might be a little bit cheaper, it has to be the Marquee Moments version. Same situation. +2 overall, 18 ability points. Shout out my man Airborne for suggesting that one. Now let's move on to some of the bigger, impactful defensive line combinations. And obviously, a lot of these are going to be centered around Landon DuPont. Now, obviously, you can't get him in sets or create him. You're going to have to buy him in the auction house. But because there is a pack that gives you a 40% chance at pulling him, he is somewhat obtainable. I want to make it very clear that these line combinations are going to disappear, and Landon DuPont's value and usefulness is going to crater from where he is right now, where he can get to 99 essentially. So when you pair Landon DuPont with Alexander Nikishin, you're getting a +10 overall boost and 15 million to the salary cap. So again, he gets the +5 from Carolina and Next Gen, +5 from Next Gen and the Everett Silvertips, giving you a +10 overall boost. And then that gigantic 15 million for an Everett Silvertip player and a Carolina Hurricane. Now, obviously, you could pair other cards with him, whether that's Slavin or any Carolina Hurricane. It's not going to give you nearly the same impactfulness. If you get Landon DuPont, I totally recommend just making Alexander Nikishin. And again, taking a look at Landon DuPont with a +10 overall boost, 99 speed, 99 excel, 99 agility, 99 balance, 99 endurance. His shot accuracy would be just under 99. Hand stats would be maxed out. Defensive awareness would be maxed out. Like, this is an unbelievable card for the next 2 weeks. And then Nikishin with a +10 overall at 6'3", 218. He gets 95 speed, 96 excel, 97 agility with truculence, as well as send it, 99 body checking, 99 defensive awareness. Like, just an unbelievable card. I will say, though, that once he loses his line combo, his skating is pretty rough. Now, I do want to touch on Zane Parekh because you can pair Zane Parekh with Landon DuPont and get a +11 boost However, I wouldn't recommend that because it's two right-handed defensemen, and Zane Parekh will fit some other line combinations that are pretty impactful. I would rather take just the 99 overall with Lana DuPont and Nikishin and have a righty-lefty split. On top of that, like, Nikishin's got truculence. Although Quick Pick is useful, I just don't think that you should burn it by having two righties on the same pair. Now, you can also pair Lana DuPont with Matthew Schaefer, giving you a +8 overall boost, giving Matthew Schaefer 95 speed and excel with 99 agility, maxed out shot power, hand stats in the mid-90s, body checking would get up to 88, and defensive awareness would hit 98. He's got wheels and stick 'em up, so if you can pair them together, that's a pretty strong option. Also, in my opinion, I would try and make Matthew Schaefer from this event because barring injury, he is almost a lock for a nomination for the Calder Trophy, and he'll probably win it, meaning that you would be able to upgrade this card to 99. Now, you can also pair Zane Parekh and Alexander Nikishin if you can't get Lana DuPont, and you would get a +9 overall boost. So again, adding +9 to Nikishin is going to make him quite useful, obviously. And then Zane Parekh with a +9 gives him 97 speed, 96 acceleration with maxed out agility. He also gets really high defensive awareness. It blows my mind that he only has 78 body checking. I've gotten to watch him play in the OHL in his entire junior career, and I don't know how that's the case, but he does come with Quick Pick, which is a fun ability, like I mentioned. So if you can't get DuPont, you could go Nikishin and Parekh for a +9 overall. Now, on to some other non-next-gen defensive line combinations. Everyone, if you're playing the game, you should be working towards getting Paul Coffey. You can build him, and he's one of the best cards in the game. Now, if you pair him with a Russian, you're going to get a +3 overall boost. And if you pair him with a face-off event item, that's a +6. So there's a couple huge options here. The best, in my opinion, is Rasmus Andersson. He would give you a +6 overall, which would get his speed and acceleration up to 93, and his body checking and defensive awareness would also be pretty elite. However, you can also pair him with the 82 Artem Zub, which again would give you a +6 overall boost, giving him 90 speed and acceleration if you wanted to go that route. Again, these cards are very expensive, but just wanted to point out that option. And when you get a +6 on Paul Coffey with elite wheels, 99 speed, 97 excel and agility, and actually makes his body checking and defensive awareness somewhat useful. This has been one of the best cards in the game that I've used, so definitely a recommendation if you can get Paul Coffey. Now, overall, when it comes to these line combos, honestly, like I mentioned, if you're looking for AP or salary cap, make your fourth line one of those next-gen lineup combinations that give you the 20 million of the salary cap or the 10 AP while pairing two next-gen items with an alumni. It can be any alumni, not an icon or a hero, an alumni, a base alumni, or you could do a base card of any kind and get the 20 million. Let me know some of your favorite line combinations. I know there is a lot of Team of the Week options, a lot of smaller overall boosts. I want to highlight some of the big ones, but let me know some of your favorites in the comments section. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.